Hey guys, it's Nick, the epilogue to Tulip Mania right now. Hey guys, so this is going to be the epilogue to Tulip Mania. If you have not seen the three-part series I did on Tulip Mania, you should check that out now. Otherwise, this probably isn't going to make any sense. First of all, I want to tell you the sources I used for this book. There's a ton of articles, which I'll link to in the description. But also I relied primarily on two books on the subject, both conveniently named Tulip Mania. One by Mike Dash, the other by Annie Goldgar. Annie Goldgar, I think, does a better job at actually looking and seeing, okay, what did Tulip Mania actually do? Who was actually involved? Annie Goldgar's book is good. It's a little bit dry. It's a little bit more academic. But Mike Dash kind of does what we might call the traditional telling of Tulip Mania. This is where a lot more people are involved. And he gives a lot more of the color that we're able to see about Tulip Mania. And as we've seen, one of the biggest takeaways I've seen from Tulip Mania is the history of history, like how history is written and how people want to imbue their own history on what happened. They want to send their own message. Like Charles Mackay's book, The Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds, was based a lot on Johann Beckman. And he wanted to kind of warn people about speculation in his day. So he took his sources and embellished them even more, kind of like hey, look out about speculation. And it really takes someone to go through and be like, no, let's actually look at what happened. Let's try to figure out what this really looked like. And, that's probably the biggest takeaway is just you wonder how people are going to look at stuff even in our own day, right? Imagine an event that you really care about today that's happening now. And then imagine the only record to survive is, the party that you just hate, that you disagree with so much that you can't understand how anybody would believe that. Imagine that's the only record to survive of the event you really care about, right? Imagine the 2008 financial crisis as told only by Fox News or as told only by MSNBC, right? And just if you're on the opposite side of that, how you'd be like, that's not what happened. It was all Bill Clinton's fault, or it was all George W. Bush's fault, right? Just how that would taint the story one way or another and maybe not give you your true history. You wonder how are people going to look back on our own time, right? I had a great professor once in college, UCLA, and he said, imagine that, 1,000 years from now, somebody, there's a history class going on, and somebody walks up to the professor and say, Professor, are the Americans going to be on the test? Do I have to study for them? I mean, after all, they didn't last too long. Yeah, they invented some good things like a written constitution and stuff like that. But, by and large, they kind of, they fell off after a few hundred years. I know the Romans, they lasted for 1,000 years and 2,000 if you count the Byzantium Empire, basically. But do I have to study for the Americans? You imagine that question. It puts you in a different mindset. What will historians write about us? Will they write that, well, of course, they were like this. They didn't know how to deal with this information age thing. There were a lot of people who embraced it, a lot of people who didn't. And it's chaos. Nobody really know. Will they even get it close to being right? Or will only one record survive? Hopefully not. But, you got to wonder, how are people going to look at us? Interesting thoughts. I definitely don't have an answer. Hopefully somebody out there has a smarter answer than I do, but I don't have one. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are below. Do you like this new series? Do you not? Do you want me to go back to doing the previous things? Do you find this helpful? This is obviously really in-depth. I think it was an hour of content, I'm guessing, when I'm all done. Something like that. So let me know if you like this or not. And I'll try to do more of what you like. All right, guys. See you later.